Hi there, it's Nicole here for Pretty Pink Posh, featuring products from the May release. I am using the Stitched Banner Duo 2 die, the Stitched Borders 3 die, as well as the Bermuda Blue, Sequins, and the Garden Embellishment Kit for my card here today. I started with the Stitched Banner Duo 2 die. It's this awesome little rounded banner type tag or banner, however you want to use this. I've already cut apart the stitched circle that goes in the center, and so I'm positioning it there because on my front tag I want to have the cutout, and then I'm going to die cut another tag using just the banner shape itself, and I'm going to be using all three pieces. So I'm going to be using the banner with the cutout, the solid banner, as well as the stitched circle for my card here. I'm going to be layering all these elements together. So I'm going to go ahead and die cut another one of these banners. This one's going to be solid. I really love this about the Pretty Pink Posh dies is you could mix and match. If you have the Stitched Banner Duo 1 die that has the square opening, you could always use that with this banner, or you could use the circle with the other banner or any of the other larger dies that those pieces would kind of mix and match and fit with. I am also using this strip here that has stitching along both long sides. This is from the Stitched Borders 3 collection. It's definitely my favorite of the three dies. I love them all, but I just love this strip. It's great for adding greetings to cards. In this instance, I'm actually making stripes for the background of my card. I'm going to set aside all of those die cut pieces now, and I've stamped this kitten from the Mama Elephant Perfect Pair stamp set, and I stamped it several times trying to get the best image. And then I colored in the ears with R21, and I'm coloring in the body now with E30, just giving a nice solid color. All of the Copic markers I'm using here today are going to be listed or shown up there in the top left corner of the screen. I'm using a little YR24 and now YR27 to add color to the cat. Originally I was adding some kind of stripes and things, and I decided to do it a little bit different. Even though I laid the color down like this, it's not going to hurt the overall effect. I'm going to go back now with my E30 and really blend this out. This is when I decided I wasn't really going to like how I had originally started to color this. So I'm taking YR24 and going over any of those places where I had laid down those darker colors. Go ahead and blend that out again now. The paper's nice and saturated, so it's blending a lot easier. Blending with the E30, my lightest color, base color. I'm going in with a little E18 now to darken up just a few areas using a really light hand. And then going with my YR27 and pulling that dark color out just a tiny bit, and then pulling it out even a little more with YR24. That's going to smooth out any of those remaining lines really. And then go in with E30 to blend that out even more. Once I have that all done, I'm going to go in and add some little dots with YR27, YR24, and E18 to add some texture to the cat. If you get any dots that are a little too dark, you can go back over them with the YR24 or even the YR27 to blend them out a bit. I'm going to take the coordinating Perfect Pair die that coordinates with this particular cat image from the stamp set and die cut that with my Sizzix Big Shot die cutting machine. Once I have that all die cut, I am going to pop him out, and then I'm going to be positioning him in that circle die cut window in the Stitched Banner Duo 2. I've laid out one of the greeting stamps I'm going to be using here. This is from the Simon Says Stamp Paw Prints on Our Heart stamp set. I'm going to use the powder tool on my tag. I'm stamping this greeting with Versamark ink, and I want my embossing powder to only stick to the stamped portion of the image and not migrate anywhere else on the tag. I'm going to apply some of this Simon Says Stamp Gold embossing powder. Before I heat that up, I am going to take a paw print from this same stamp set and stamp that right there to the right kind of up above or right next to the word always, and apply some gold embossing powder to that as well, and then heat set all that stamping on the tag. So I'll take that over to my heat gun and emboss that real quick. I have a note card here from Avery L, and I'm going to take these 3 strips that I die cut earlier using the Pretty Pink Posh Stitched Borders 3 die, and I'm positioning them, leaving a little bit of space in between each. You can see all that overhang there. I'm simply going to flip my card over and trim off all of that with scissors. I did this because it was easier to line up the strips, I thought, with the overhang on each side. I could have tried to line them up, you know, with one side, but I really felt like this worked a little easier. I have another little greeting, like a sub greeting that I want to stamp underneath the Always Remembered that says sorry for your loss. Again, it's from that same Paw Prints on Your Heart stamp set from Simon Says Stamp, as well as this one heart here you can see there next to the kitten. I'm going to go ahead and stamp the little greeting here right underneath Remembered, and then heat emboss that with gold embossing powder as well. I think the gold embossing powder adds a little bit of an elegant touch to the card. And then I want to add just a little something next to the kitten up there like it's looking at. So I'm adding this heart from the Simon Says stamp set I'm using. And then there's another little heart from the Mama Elephant Perfect Pair stamp set, and I'm going to use it as well. I didn't like my original heart stamping. You can see it. I just flipped my circle around, and the cat's going to cover up what I didn't like, what I originally was going to stamp there. Have a little adhesive that was sticking out, so I'm using an eraser to remove that. I'll stamp those 2 additional little teeny tiny hearts, add some gold embossing powder to those as well, and heat set those to finish my tag. Now I'm going to adhere all of the pieces. I'm going to slightly offset the 2 tags. Just gives a nice little layered look. Secure that only at the top. I'm going to take my pencil and mark, or I guess I'll take my black gel pen first and add definition to the eyes. I always like to do that. Then I'm taking my pencil and marking where I want to have a little hole punch, and I took my crocodile and punched a hole. This green and white twine is from the Pretty Pink Posh Garden Embellishment Kit. It has 3 colors of twine and some ribbon and sequins and things. Really fun. So I'm going to thread that through the top of my tag, and it'll kind of just be hanging down there to the left of the tag. I'm using some of the Bermuda Blue 6mm sequins from Pretty Pink Posh, adhering them with the Zots Bling glue dots. Just a little scattering of them to add some subtle embellishment to the card. And then I will adhere the tag itself to my card base using foam adhesive. I like that little bit of dimension that foam adhesive allows. One thing about foam adhesive is I find that if you don't place a nice even layer of foam adhesive on the back of whatever you're adding dimension to, it can get a little smushed when you send it through the mail. So I tend to err on the side of caution and use quite a bit of foam adhesive. I like a huge roll of the Scotch foam adhesive. You can cut it into any shape that you need it, little pieces of it, or any strip size that you need. So I tend to like to use that. So that's what I'm using here, and I'm just tearing little pieces of it to fit on the back of my tag and covering the back of that tag pretty good with it. So I'm going to go ahead and attach the tag to my card base. Get that twine to lay the way I want it to. I want it to just kind of fall next to the left side, and I'm slightly securing it with that foam adhesive on the left side of the tag. Press that in place. I kind of didn't get the twine the way I wanted, so I'll go ahead and adjust that real quickly, and my card is all finished. Thanks for joining me for this video showcasing new Pretty Pink Posh May release products. I've used the Stitched Banner Duo 2 die, the Stitched Borders 3 die, the Bermuda blue 6mm sequins, and the Garden Embellishment Kit. The supplies I've used are listed and linked below the video on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.